So that circulation could still be bothering that area. And then down here, south of Cottondale. Let's see what the Weather Service has now. Again, time is 9:11 here. Issues a flash flood warning for Jack and Wise counties. So that's another problem with these that we've talked about. You know, after the rotational threat is over and after the severe storm threat is over, sometimes what we are getting is heavy rainfall picking up. And so a new flash flood, there's old flash flood warnings up to the north and west. But now a new flash flood warning coming for, let's see, Jack and Wise. For 2 to 3 inches have fallen. Let me double check. Yes, 2 to 3 inches have fallen, another 1 to 2 possible. Just got a new tornado warning. So they trimmed and drew a new one here. Watch what they did. Watch this. The one moving more south is going to come off the screen, and this one moving southeast is now on the screen. This is going to bring more of western Denton and northern Tarrant County into play here. Okay? So the new warning is a little more easterly. Let's take the lightning off. New warning is this one, extending out further and more easterly. Old warning is this one. That one's going to be expired. It should come off your screen in just a moment. This warning. This new one extending out. Rome, you're close. This is going to eclipse soon northwestern parts of Tarrant and western parts of Denton counties. Okay? Let's pause it on its last frame and let's just see what speed that's going at and draw a track on there. Again, let's see what speed and what track this is taking. Okay. New tornado warning on this. So it's doing this number. It's kind of spinning up right in that area. So let's draw just a slow track on at least the impacts from the supercell moving into Tarrant and Denton counties. So at least the rain and winds are going to start approaching western Denton and Tarrant counties soon. Eagle Mountain 926, Azle 920, Newark 914, Pecan Acres 917, Saginaw 935, and that timing has been about the same, 938 Keller, North Richland Hills 947. Know those areas really well. Those spots are going to be next in line as this moves down the stream. Let's zoom in closer on this. Again, this rotation continues to cycle, and it's cycling. It's kind of spinning like a top here. Watch this. And it's tightened into one spot. So we had a couple areas of rotation. It's kind of been absorbed into this spot right there, the southern side. So Jack, Parker, and Wise now through 10 o'clock. So that is the new warning, now through 10 o'clock. Oh, let's pause it on the last frame, and let's put up our warning so that you can see, and let's just bring that up here. So the warning continues, and that's going to go through 10 o'clock now, and that is over the top of this. Let's zoom back out. That's the new warning, and there's your rotation, this notch here. There's some old rotation sitting here. They're all kind of dueling. That's the hook this was warned for. And this is the new polygon that goes closer towards Rome until 10. Jack, Parker, and Wise counties. So again, resetting for everyone. Let's put a loop on this. This is the only storm. Okay, this group of storms northwest in Jack, Parker, Tarrant, and Wise counties, or Jack, Parker, and Wise counties. Now northwestern Tarrant County is in this, okay? Northwestern Tarrant County is now in this warning. So they've just clipped northwestern Tarrant County. That's a new severe storm warning through 10:15. And let's see what they've done with that warning now. That warning now has 70-mile-an-hour winds and 2.5-inch hail. So they're saying up to 2.5-inch hail. That is tennis ball-sized hail. So tennis ball-sized hail, and I'm anxious to see where, because I believe most of that cell will not have that. Only a portion of that cell will have tennis balls. And our radar has been estimating way below that, which is, yeah, so 2 primary cores here. 2 primary cores to look at here with that kind of hail. Right here and right back here. Okay, 2 cores of tennis balls, or maybe not quite there, maybe slightly higher than tennis balls, but right there continuing in those spots. And again, that's that new severe thunderstorm warning for these two spots with the largest hail and winds to 70. Tornado warning, though, still continues. Let's zoom in just a bit closer. Let's put a scope on it. Yeah, really, it's just one part now. It's just this one. Right here, Cottondale, there's Boonesville, right here. That's where your rotation is. And it's barely moving. They're saying the rotation is kind of sitting in the spot, moving just barely to the southeast at about 5. And we just got a new radar scan, and that did not change a whole lot from what I'm seeing. That did not change too much. Okay, let's zoom back out. Let's take velocities and zoom back out on this. Again, still a couple of areas there of rotation. And these are well northwest of Tarrant County, but they are inching closer at this moment. But this continues towards the south and east. At this moment, northwest and Parker-wise, you are there right now. Power flashes and Runaway Bay. Again, that's the closest one that we had. And that was from this cell earlier that had that rotation right here, power flashes, which is indicative of at least 70-mile-an-hour winds, maybe 80. So possibly a touchdown there. And some tree limbs and or trees down in that spot right there. Okay, Runaway Bay. That has come down. There's still rotation there, but that has weakened. I doubt that's producing a tornado now. Down the line, where it's broad rotation here, broad north of 199 and south of 114. Here's Boyd. Okay, there's Boyd. But this has broadened out. It's still heavy winds, but it's broad. And that's short-term good news that we're seeing now. Chief Meteorologist Pete Delk is still on the air watching this too, and I think that's right because it's coming in closer towards Tarrant County too. And we still have that new tornado warning. Let me see what they've done with this again. Bear with me. The Weather Service is having to adapt a lot on this. So tornado warning through 10, severe storm warning in the yellow through 10:15. At 10 o'clock or so, we're going to start seeing this cross into Tarrant and Denton counties. The leading edge of this is crossing through now, okay? But we're going to start seeing that rotation probably crossing closer, although look how it just kind of stalled here. Watch this. It absorbed back up and stalled, and this is going to, all the rotation is kind of now circling into one. So that's going to become the issue here is will that cell hold, that parent cell, will it hold in towards Tarrant and Denton counties? So far, it is holding together pretty well. And it looks like now we have one primary area of rotation. Okay? So we're starting to get one primary spot there. Okay? Let's draw that up. One spot there. And we had one spot here, but it looks like this spot is taking over. Okay, this spot. You had a little inflow notch there, but the eastern spot is taking over. And so let's put that back on rotation here. See how this one's taking over? It's kind of stalling and taking over. So that tornado warning goes until 10. And that's why they drew this new warning polygon. It's going to be for that one. And now that it's kind of taking over and it's absorbed that other one and wrapping up, it's moving more south, southerly here. We'll see. But that looks more impressive right there, at least as of the last scan from these eyes. Parent supercell, again, still moving in towards western parts of Tarrant and Denton. And this is going to be until 10:15. But let's put a track on the leading edge, again, of the hail and the wind. It continues to update, and now it's kind of slowing a bit. Saginaw 942, North Richland Hills 952, Bedford Euless 10, DFW Airport 10, Irving 10:11, Arlington after that. So it is taking its sweet time here. And again, it should lose some energy, but as meteorologist Jesse Huila was saying, something we watch after 8, 9, 10 o'clock in these months, April, May, June, even July, is something called the low-level jet, a little stream of air right off the ground that kind of starts to pick up after sundown and wrap these things up. And sure enough, that hook is tightening up. I wouldn't be surprised if they pinpoint this in the next update here. That is tightening up. Let me take lightning off so you can see it as you're watching the stream. Again, time now is 9:20 p.m. If you're watching the WFAA Plus stream here, we've been with you all night, and we'll continue. This is the benefit of having Plus. You download the app for free. If you have family or friends in this area, tell them to do so. in Parker, Wise, Jack counties, Tarrant, and Denton counties too now, out ahead of this, because we'll be streaming. You download the app and you just click live at the top. Free. We're here. So there it is. Look how that's wrapped right up. Look at that. Look at that right now. Look how quickly that wrapped up. And so, again, the low-level jet kicking in, you're going to get a reorganization. This supercell is going to try and survive as long as it can. And look at all the lightning and the hail. This is your sink drain effect. All this wrapping into the hook right there. And all of that in the purple shade there, that's hail. Heavy rain and hail. Let's take the last frame here. Again, that hook is looking more impressive. Let's look at velocities here. It looks like it's still broad, okay? But yeah, you're starting to get some striations in here. You're definitely getting some tightening here. So this is going to be your rotation. So what I want to do is zoom out and just track that out ahead, okay? Let's do a new track on this and track it out ahead. And let's just take the area of spin down in towards Lucky Ridge, 924, Briar, 940, Pelican Bay, 944, Pecan Acres, 949, Saginaw, around 10. So the rotation itself, the tightest rotation itself in northwestern populated parts of northwestern Tarrant County here at the top of the hour potentially. So that's where we stand now. So again, as you're joining us here, let me zoom back out to our home view. Okay, again, Dallas-Fort Worth now, time is 9:22 p.m. in the evening. We have one dominant parent cell now. So this cell has continued since it was in Wichita Falls 3-4 hours ago. One severe thunderstorm warning continuing for hail up to the size of tennis balls. Now that hail is not falling all over the place, just near the core. We have winds to 70 miles per hour in this storm. Active lightning, which I just took off so you can see it. And one tornado warning for Parker, Wise, and Jack counties through 10 o'clock for that hook on the southern sides. That's the only storm right now approaching the Metroplex. This is round one. Now zooming back out, okay, round two is potentially what happens with these storms in Oklahoma, which have weakened. These were tornado warnings earlier. They have weakened to severe storm warnings. Still severe. Flash flood warnings. Those may try to make a southeast move down towards, say, eastern Collin County, Lamar, down towards Greenville. So a couple spots we're still watching. But again, the main story moving into our central counties is still this one parent supercell. South of Decatur, there's your tornado warning for Jack, Parker, and Wise counties through 10 o'clock. And let's see if we have any more reports from the National Weather Service at this time that continued this tornado warning. They continued that to the south and east. And Jesse, this continues to be the main story, as I was telling them. Meteorologist Jesse Huila here, still watching just this one parent supercell. It looks like it has taken over yet again.
We're actually getting ready to go. We're going to take Pete. We're going to go wall to wall on WFAA. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to keep going for just a few more minutes, and then you'll join us over there.
Sounds good.
We're almost there.
Okay.
And then Pete's feed's going to take over here in just a
second.
second.
Okay, so Pete's feed will take over on Plus here. So we'll keep this up. All right.
We're about just a few minutes.
Okay, a few minutes out. So we'll keep this up for you. That was meteorologist Jesse Huila, and you're seeing some of the inner workings here, what happens in a TV station. So we're continuing streaming on Plus. What's going to happen now is these cells near Tarrant County and Denton counties. Chief Meteorologist Pete Delkus has been doing this a long time, Jesse Huila, myself. We're going to go in on air here in wall-to-wall coverage, so you're going to see that feed. Okay, so you're going to see that as well. So we've got this all covered here for you. I'm going to leave radar up, okay? I'm going to head into the Studio A. We're going to leave this up until they take the feed from Pete Delkus in Studio A, and Jesse Huila and myself will all be on there for you. You're not going to lose any bit of coverage on here, but we're going to leave the radar here for you so you can see this here on Plus. We're going to stick with you through this whole thing. You do not have to leave a thing here. Keep the app open. We're going to be with you all through the night as these cells now near our central counties of Tarrant, Denton, Collin, and Dallas. We'll be taking live from Studio A, Pete Delkus here, Studio A, coming up in just a second. But we'll leave you live with radar right here. Okay, now time is, we're approaching 9:31 now. And we have one major storm that's now approaching Tarrant and Denton counties. This is the whole game so far right now. So let's zoom back out to the whole Metroplex. This is the one show in town. Now, briefly, the supercell split off into several storms here. but then it kind of congealed into its parent cell one more time. So we're watching one severe storm warning and one tornado warning. Now the problem with this is that it is wrapping back up. So Chief Meteorologist Pete Delkus is watching this as well, and he'll cut in on the air as needed. He's on now. And we'll stay with this stream the entire night. With this stream, you're going to get this the entire time. So one parent cell continues. And notice how that hook is becoming more prominent. This is a supercell, a classic supercell in a very sheared, very unstable environment. The good news is the rest of the area remained capped all afternoon, and thank goodness it did. You don't want to see 2 or 3 of these, but one parent supercell now. Now let's get the latest details on it, okay? Right now, we have a severe storm warning through 10:15. That continues for hail up to the size of tennis balls. Now, tennis balls are not falling all throughout the storm, but they are in the purple. And see that sink drain effect? This is what we call the sink drain effect. That hook, that spin, that rotation is strong enough. It's pulling the hail and rain back into it. So there it is now. And winds could be in excess of 70 miles per hour, but not throughout the storm. The heaviest winds are obviously near the rotation, and maybe some hail and wind starting to build right here on 114 west of Rome. This cell, if it continues on its current track and speed, is going to move into Tarrant and Denton counties. That's where we stand now. Let me get the latest speeds because they continue to change here. The National Weather Service has had a difficult job all night, and if you know anyone there, they've done a great job. We'll tell them they've done a good job tonight. That this has been a difficult set of storms here. It's moving southeast at 30. The tornado warning, however, is different. The tornado warning is going southeast at 25. So the parent cell here southeast at 30, that brings it into northern Tarrant County, eventually spots like South Lake, Lake Louisville, down towards Saginaw, Colleyville, eventually moving into western parts of Denton County. Let's put a track on it at 30, okay, from the main impacts, just a generalized track so you can have an idea of when it's moving into your location, okay? Again, as I'm seeing it now, Azle 937, Justin 945, Saginaw 952. So we're close here, folks. We're close. 934. So we're close to this. So Saginaw within 15 minutes. Trophy Club 958. South Lake 1004. Bedford and Euless 1009. Right in here. DFW Airport, okay, at 1015. Tarrant 1017. Irving and Grand Prairie just after 1020. Arlington eventually 1030. The Galleria then closer to 1040. So Dallas County closer to 1030 to 1045. But right now, momentarily, it is moving in towards Tarrant and Denton counties. That's where we stand at the moment. So again, watching that severe storm warning, it still has a tornado warning on the hook. And that's where we are now. Let's zoom into the tornado warning, okay? And we're going to box zoom into this cell. There it is now. Let's pause on the latest frame here. And there is your hook. Boy, is that a hook on radar. That is a very pronounced hook here. The good news is it's continued to cycle up and down. So we have had no confirmed reports. We did have power flashes up near Runaway Bay, but at this point right now, the heavier rotation is right in here. This is Texas State Highway 199. It's north of 199, south of 114. Dueling wind, there comes the radar beam through. Maybe an area here, this whole spot spinning counterclockwise and broad rotation to the south of that. That's where we stand on this now. And that, again, is the latest from the Weather Service from these eyes, from right here, is that continues. Let's see how long that warning will go here. So they've opted to continue that one, I believe, until 10. Yes, 10 o'clock. So a couple pockets here that are dueling. There's Cottondale. I hesitate to say there's been any touchdowns here. Let me look at the Weather Service and see if we have any confirmation or spotter confirmation on this. At this moment, still continuing to watch that area of rotation. They're going to be amending another severe storm warning on the southern part of the storm. There it is. Okay, so Runaway Bay, a brief tornado touchdown being reported. That was earlier from this rotation. So this rotation has cycled. I'm going to put the lightning back on just to give you an idea. This is very, very active, a lightning show here from this cell. So again, moving in now towards Tarrant and Dallas counties. A couple spots I want you to see. The general motion is that way. There's an outflow boundary right here. That's rain-cooled air from the rear flank downdraft. It is feeding itself off of this rear flank downdraft and off of this, and it is moving south and east. Looks like we just got a flash flood warning. So wherever this cell goes, high precipitation, heavy rainfall, and now moving south and east following this arrow. There's another scan of the hook. Let's take off the lightning. There's another scan of the hook. Let's take a look and see what that looks like. I mean, that's about as impressive as supercell as you're going to see. And again, one of the things about supercells in this kind of environment, though, the southeast movers tend to produce larger hail. Northeast movers or easterly movers tend to have greater chance of tornado genesis. In this case, so far, what we've seen is that greater proclivity to produce hail. And we've had confirmation of hail. We have not had many confirmations of tornado touchdowns. Here's Boyd. This is State Highway 114. This is State Highway 199. It's moving south and east. Let me go forward out of this. It is not far from Pecan Acres and Springtown. And now that it's picking up speed, let me just put this along a track along the leading edges of this, in towards Saginaw. Okay? So the heaviest rotation, if you're joining me right now on WFAA Plus and you have family or friends in Tarrant County, back to the west of Fort Worth or to the north and west or Denton County, have them get on WFAA Plus right now. Have them get on the app and see this. And you just click live at the top. It's free. We are right here. But these are now moving in. Here's northwestern Tarrant County right here near Briar. Here's Denton County, okay? The main rotation, the main spin, even if you're not getting brief touchdowns in here, and I don't see any spots that look like that at the moment. What I see is a big, broad area of spinning air, okay? That whole area could be winds to 70 or 80 plus. That moves into Springtown at 9:47. So you've got a moment here. You've got a few moments, 8 minutes. Briar 9:50, Azle 9:55, Castle Hill Estate 10 o'clock, Eagle Mountain 10:02, Lakeside 10:07, Saginaw 10:11. Northwestern sides of Tarrant County starting to get into very populated areas here. You have 10 or 15 minutes here, and this storm is going to be on your doorstep. The good news is it continues to cycle, and at this moment, I do not see that this is going to be an immediate threat, but you do need to take this very seriously. And is this a new one? Let me zoom down to it. This is the new one. Look at this. Let me show you what they've done here. So the Weather Service, so here's Tarrant County and Fort Worth. Here's Denton County. What they've done, this is the old warning to the north. Now look at the hook. They've drawn a new warning way south and east out of this, and that goes until 10:30. Let me zoom into that one. And that is just for Parker County. They've stopped it at Tarrant, and it's for this hook right here, spinning up. So here's the old tornado warning. This is going to fall off, and they're going to continue with this tornado warning and now a new severe thunderstorm warning. Let's see what the details are on that warning. New severe storm warning, hail to the size of baseballs and winds to 80. So it now has the destructive tag on it. So that will trigger outdoor warning sirens if it hasn't already, along with the tornado warning. Destructive tag on it, winds to 70, hail to baseballs. That's 2.75 inches, I believe, baseball size hail. Now again, that's not falling in the entire cell, okay? Your baseball hail is not falling in the entire cell. What you have right here is a strong hook echo, baseball hail maybe in the core here, and maybe tennis balls or baseballs in this purple core here. Here's Pecan Acres, there's Rome. But that hook, look how quickly that dove to the south. So they've now done a tornado warning just on this spot for that hook right there, Parker and Wise County, just Parker County on the southern cell. All right, so let's take the velocities on that. I mean, you just don't get a stronger couplet than this. It is still fairly broad, but it could be a very wide swath of high velocity air here. But that's a pretty clear signature right there, counterclockwise. Watch it spin. I mean, you just don't get it much clearer than that on radar. Unless it were to be just a touch tighter here, that's a very broad area of very high winds. So that's the new tornado warning. Still just radar indicated, so it has not been confirmed. That's one of the trouble things, one of the issues that we have with storms after we lose daylight and it's dark out. It is very difficult to get confirmation unless you see power flashes or we see debris on radar. And we just, I don't think we have all night. I haven't even checked. Let's take a look at it. I certainly wouldn't expect to see it right away. I doubt that has occurred, but let's look. Again, at this point, it seems fairly rural as well. In this spot, it's crossing right over Highway 199. Okay. That continues to the south and east. And I don't see debris, which is good. We'd see a pocket of really a dark blue here, and it's all red here. So this is your rain and wind and hail wrapping in. And you would see a pocket of debris, and I don't. So that's good news. That's good news there. Again, still just rotation and wind, and that's all we have. So that continues. Again, that's moving in the direction right over Highway 99. Agnes, I believe, forgive me if I'm wrong, Agnes. I want you in a tornado-safe spot. Take precautions, immediate tornado safety precautions. Looks like this is going to cross very close to Springtown. Agnes, 199 Springtown. Very careful right in here. I mean, those wind speeds are very, very high. Let's just see here what those look like. And we can sample these, and this is a very broad area, but we can sample these and get an idea here of what these are. Again, here, minus 45, minus 55, 36. So gate to gate, 45, 55, maybe 100-mile-an-hour winds in here. But these are 100-mile-an-hour winds right in here, swirling around. There's State Highway 199. So there's Springtown and Agnes. So let me zoom back out for you folks in Tarrant and Denton counties. I mean, it's not often you see this. Certainly, it's rare to get a supercell coming right into the metro any other time of the year. But right now, on a day like today, that's what we have. And there's the one primary area to watch from what I'm seeing now. So time right now is 9:44. Let's go back to radar and show you as this approaches the metroplex. This is the one dominant cell. Just so much lightning. Just figure if you're out ahead of this, you're going to see lightning. Even Collin County, Fort Worth, as far east as Plano and McKinney, Farmersville, Princeton, Dallas, Richardson, you've all heard thunder from this cell. That's how big it is. So let's take the lightning off. Just plan on you're going to hear some thunder out of this. Let me take the lightning layer off. There you go. You can see it more cleanly, how this cell is evolving. And this is the one cell on the map here. Okay, the one dominant supercell. And it looks like it'll dive more south and southeast to survive. Because to the south and southeast is where your warm, moist air is, your inflow. This is where your more unstable air is. So this cell now is going to take off southeast. What also we're going to have to be cautious about and watch tonight is now the cells up in Oklahoma might start taking off southeast as well as that low-level jet kicks in. That's certainly what this is doing. Is that now nears Azle? There's Weatherford. Weatherford, you're almost in this new tornado warning. Not quite. You're very, very close here. Let's double-check on those cells up in Oklahoma. And they're still moving kind of more easterly. Maybe this one near Durant is kind of moving south and east. Still have some cells north of the Red River. There's Ardmore, Oklahoma, Ada. You guys know these spots probably well if you've traveled the 35 corridor north. Looks like those are still kind of moving more southeasterly, but I'm still watching these cells. Again, the main story is moving into our western counties is one cell has broken the cap, and it is this one, okay? And it continues to move south and east. Chief Meteorologist Pete Delkus is now live on WFAA as well, so stay here, watch there as well. We'll be on the whole time on here, guiding you, okay, with you. We got plenty of microphones and batteries. We're going. But severe storm warning continues till 10:15, okay? The southern severe storm warning, I believe, is 10:30. 2 severe storm warnings on this. Tornado warning also until 10:30. So that continues. We're getting a little bit of outflow on this along the leading edge. Maybe some heavy winds in there. But there's your rotation, and there's your hook. And it looks pretty prominent here. Let's go back to velocities just on the latest scan. I mean, this is about as clear of a hook echo as you're going to get. Look at that. Look at that spin. The bright red and the green next to each other. In fact, we have almost a green circular dot in the middle, the center, if you will, or centroid. That is some serious spin right there. So again, radar indicated tornado warning. This is not confirmed, just radar indicated at the moment. Nearing Springtown, Azle. Here's Tarrant County, but it's actually diving more south. Let me see any updates from the Weather Service. Okay. Rotating wall cloud report. 9:43. Okay? This is west side of the high school in Springtown. Rotating wall cloud. Cannot tell if it's touching down. Okay, so wall cloud in here, and that's consistent with what we're seeing, right? That rotation is wide. That's consistent with what we're seeing here. That we have one large supercell with a mesocyclone, the whole rotating part reaching down to the ground. You have a wall cloud near the ground. At this time of night, it's just so difficult to tell if you have touchdowns. But commonly, under those wall clouds, you'll get brief vortices, brief funnels touchdown. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're getting brief touchdowns in here. You just hope, and you really hope that misses Springtown to the west here. Very close. You have some winds picking up there. And if you have family or friends in these areas, please alert them right now. Go to a safe area. Stay away from exterior windows and walls. Surround yourself with as many walls as possible. Don't need to be underground. Just in the most interior, lowest room you have. You know your home better than anybody, where you can go to feel the most safe. And download this app. Tell family or friends that you have in this area, download this app, click on live at the top, and go to that safe space. And we'll guide you through this. We've got radar updates coming through every minute, less than a minute here for this storm. But that's where it is now. If you're in Springtown, I need you to take immediate tornado safety precautions. In 20 minutes, you'll be fine. But right now, I need you to be in that safe spot now as that crosses over 199. And no one should be driving right now. If you plan on driving on State Highway 199 in this area, northwest of Springtown, do not head in this direction, at least not for the time being. So we had a report of a wall cloud that was at 9:43. It's 9:48. That was 5 minutes ago. Very dangerous winds in the southern side of the storm in Parker County, according to the National Weather Service. That's what we talked about, winds to nearly 100. It's been upgraded to 90-mile-an-hour winds. So even if this doesn't produce a brief touchdown, what you're seeing here in this wall cloud is such a wide swath of wind, updraft wind. So as the supercell is surviving and moving south and east, and the good news here for Tarrant County, here's Fort Worth. That's how close the supercell is. But it's diving more south here, southwardly. It wants to reach into the instability that's left. Okay? Tornado watch goes through 11 p.m. If those storms from Oklahoma start to dive south, maybe we'll see an extension. At this point, it is just this supercell that we are watching, that we're keeping an eye on. Siren activation now. So sirens are going out. Sirens are going off in parts of these areas. So Parker and Wise counties, winds to 90 miles per hour. Let's get a track on this. Winds to 90. Kind of swinging through. If you're in this area, winds to 90. Springtown now. Pumpkin Center 1005. Willow Park 1005. Annetta North 1009. Annetta 1010. Aledo 1014. Iona 1019. Here's I-20 at the bottom of your screen. Here's Tarrant County and Fort Worth. There's Springtown. Here's Pecan Acres. Significant wind of 90 miles per hour. I can't stress to you enough. Even if you don't get a touchdown, a tornado touchdown in here, or brief intermittent touchdowns, which you probably are, okay? You're getting winds of 90, which is equal to a smaller tornado anyway, but it's a large swath of this. Also, look at this. See all these little eddies in here? That's turbulent flow. You've got a big, broad spin. Well, what happens? Spin your hand in a bathtub. What happens? You get little eddies in motion. That's what this is. Your radar right here sees 1, 2, 3, 4 little spins along the outside of the main center, what we call the centroid. You're getting little spins. So you may see brief tornado touchdowns in here. Because it's the dark of night, we may not have confirmation, okay? But what you're going to see is at the very least winds to 90. I mean, you don't get as clear of a circle as this. That is your wind swirling. So Springtown right now, I need you in a safe spot. Go to the safest spot you know of. Willow Park, Annetta North, Annetta, Aledo, Iona. You have 10 minutes max. Some of you have a few minutes. Get to that safe spot now, away from exterior windows and walls as that continues. Again, that continues there. Let's go back to radar. Tornado warning through 10:30, and that's for Parker County alone. The 10 o'clock one for Parker and Wise will expire. This supercell is diving south, but now we're seeing another split. Watch this. Look how fast that happened. This supercell is diving south. Look at the proliferation northward now with lightning, although it's weakening, moving into western Denton County. Okay? The one primary supercell dragging all the energy with it is moving down towards Tarrant, and that continues now. Let's zoom back up to the storms in Oklahoma. I'm going to take all of the radar sites, including Oklahoma, just so we can see how these are moving. This one's now, there's Durant, there's Atoka, Tishomingo. This is moving south and east. Let's put that on over a loop over the past hour. We can kind of see more storms developing on the Red River here, okay? These are spinning, and now this one's starting to turn more south. So that may eclipse our eastern and northeastern counties late, maybe far to the east, down towards Canton and Terrell if they hold together, Greenville, Farmersville, okay? But right now, still watching this one dominant cell west of Denton and Tarrant counties, and it is just the most powerful cell on this map. And it is the only one with tornado warnings. All across the board, some severe storms in Arkansas. This is the most potent storm in the plains and in the south right now is this one. That is volumetric. Let's take that off. Let's go back to radar. And we're going to go back to the view of this storm approaching Tarrant County now. What we're going to do is zoom in on this cell, and let's see if we have any other reports coming in. Zooming back out, let's take lightning off. Okay. Let's go back to what the Weather Service is saying. Observed winds of 90 miles an hour in this cell. So severe thunderstorm warning with the destructive tag. Outdoor warning sirens will sound. Winds to 90. Still barely clipping northwestern Tarrant. They have not continued it into Tarrant County. Weather Service now says they'll be adding Hood, Somervell, and Johnson counties to the tornado watch. And we'll see when they extend this then into Tarrant County. Okay? They should be extending this severe storm warning into Tarrant County soon. You're on deck here if you're in Tarrant County. So Tarrant County should be soon here. So tornado watch extended, tornado warning continuing until 10:30 for just Parker County. And look at how this is bowing. You'll see a little green line here, outflow, but it's feeding off its own outflow. That rain cooled air, and then you've got some warm inflow air out ahead. So 10:30 for that tornado warning, severe storm warning. They still haven't expanded that. They're going to need to momentarily into Tarrant and Denton counties. Now, overall, watch the purple shadings have gone down. So I think the intensities are starting to come down in this, which is to be expected. We've lost daytime heating. Okay, they've extended that tornado warning. Let me just double check here. They continued this tornado warning. This is Parker into south central Wise and north central Parker. Okay, let's see what they've done with this. If it's this one, no, 10. This one until 10:30. And you can kind of see it right here. You can kind of see on radar. You see this little lighter yellow area wrapping in? There's your hook, okay? It's just a large rotating swath of air. That's moving south and east again. Let's get some of these towns out. Springtown, you got to be in that safe area right now. I mean, you just have so much spin in here. And now you're getting turbulent flow. All of this is spinning. Now you're getting more turbulent eddies in here. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be surprised if those are multiple little vortices here. So again, you're talking about a widespread area of winds. I mean, it's just not common that you get this view, even with strong cells. That's a broad swath of rotating air. Now you might get a couple brief, again, vortices in here in these couplets. Which is hard at this time of night. We're not getting reports. So if you're in Springtown, please be careful. Agnes should be through with you. We're now heading down south. Okay, heading down south. Weatherford, this is very, very close to you. I mean, the winds are now gusting out, but if it continues, I have Weatherford at 10:03. Okay. If you have family or friends in Weatherford, please send them this link for WFAA Plus. Get their attention. Tell them to just go to a safe spot eventually here. 10 o'clock, I mean, we're 10:05. We have 10 minutes here for Willow Park. Less than 10 minutes for Weatherford. The leading edge of this wind, which was observed to 90 miles an hour and may have rotation in it, continues. So they're going to expand. Looks like sirens are going off as well. So again, if you're in, is it Wampler? Forgive me, Wampler, Willow Park, Annetta North, Annetta, Weatherford. Please, please, please be in a safe area. Even Azle, you're a little to the east, but I don't want to rule anybody out. Some of these winds, it's kind of expanding a little bit, this broad swath. And again, you just got to be really, really careful here. Really got to be careful if you're in these areas. So waiting on another update from the Weather Service. Wampler, forgive me, again, 9:59. Bottom line, be in a safe spot now. Hudson Oaks, Weatherford, Willow Park, Annetta North, and Annetta. I want you in a safe area. Just the lowest interior portion of your home. You know your home better than anyone. An interior bathroom or closet, be okay. Just bring your phone with you in WFAA Plus, okay? And just stream us. All right, this is now moving south, and here's the Tarrant County line right there. Here's White Settlement. This is western parts of Fort Worth. Okay, western Fort Worth as that continues. And that's just northeastern parts of Parker County. Parker County, okay, through 1030 is where we're seeing this. Yes, just Parker, okay? All right. We're going to get an update here. Sirens are sounding. That sounds right. Tons of lightning in this. Tons of lightning. And there it is now. I mean, just spinning up. That is a dangerous storm, even if it doesn't produce a tornado touchdown or two that we can confirm. It's a very dangerous storm with winds to 90. Winds observed to 90. Now, not all of your winds along the leading edge of this will be 90, and it looks like the intensities overall are starting to wane a bit, just to these eyes in terms of the intensities of the rain and hail. However, if you're out ahead of the heaviest part of this, again, Weatherford, I am growing. It might move south and east of you, but again, that's the wind speeds on the southern sides of the supercell are very significant as we stand here now. Waiting to get an update from the Weather Service. Let me take the lightning off here so you can see the cell. Go back to velocity. And it may be tightening up again in that one spot here, in just this one little spot right there. Let's see. I mean, it's right there. Also a couple spots here. You could have brief little spin-ups all through this. But that continues to move south and east. Let's see it here. Let's just see it. Let's put a track on the leading edge of this, kind of south and east. It's moving right for Willow Park, okay? Okay. Again, this continues to move into populated areas. It's approaching the Tarrant County line. There we go now. Wampler, forgive me, 10:04 right now. Willow Park, 10:04. Hudson Oaks, 10:05. Annetta North, 10:12. Aledo, 10:14. Here's Azle. Here's State Highway 199. There's Lake Worth, White Settlement. Dangerous wind speeds here, 90 miles an hour or higher in some of these spots. We're getting an update from the Weather Service in just a second. Again, could have brief little spin-ups inside of this as well. Little eddies, wouldn't be surprised. But the leading edge of this winds of 90 miles an hour or higher. Just a shocking edge of this southern side of the supercell. Very substantial supercell here. Waiting for the next report. And let's again get the times on this. Let me get this all cleared. Getting reports of wind damage, power flashes. Power flashes continue. Okay. Let's take this south and east into Tarrant County, just to give ourselves an idea into Tarrant County. Sirens are now going off in Parker County, and we have yet to see this extended into, let me double check. We've yet to see this extended into Tarrant County. They're going to have to draw this warning again into Tarrant County in a moment. They haven't done it yet. And it's crossing into Tarrant County now. They need to do it. At this time, we still have winds that could be up to 90 along the leading edge. Let's read off some of the towns. Okay, Willow Park, 10:05. Aledo, 10:16. Iona, 10:19. Lake Worth, 10:24. Benbrook, 10:25. TCU Campus Colonial Country Club, 10:34. Fort Worth Zoo right there, 10:36. So this continues to move, and it is going to eventually cross into Tarrant County at some point here. So that continues. Wind speeds to 90 in maximum. Not all of these are going to be 90, but along the leading edge, they're going to be 90 here as that continues to move south and east. So again, watching this continue to the south and east, and it looks like the last couple stands it's pulsed down just a touch. Boy, we hope that's the case as that continues. Boy, we hope that's the case, that it has just weakened a bit, because we've got a lot going on here in terms of these winds, very dangerous winds. Okay, so it's right on the doorstep here of Tarrant County as well, right on the doorstep. All right, so this continues at this moment. Tornado warning as well. Severe thunderstorm warning, winds to 90, tornado warning, makes no difference. Got to be in a safe area with how this is progressing to the south and east. Okay, let's see what we have here. Continues, okay. Tornado warning. Let's see what the update is from the National Weather Service at this time. If you're joining us on Plus, just after 10 o'clock. So they, very strong wind signature still evident with the storm winds to maybe 80 or 90, but coming down just a touch. It's in Parker County, about to cross over into Tarrant County here. As you are now watching WFAA Plus right now on the stream, I know that there are sirens going off in Parker County. Tarrant County, they have not extended any of these warnings into Tarrant County yet, just with the exception of Pecan Acres and the northwestern sides. So that ended up being a good call from the Weather Service there, is what it looks like, as that continues south and east. One tornado warning continuing, again, until 10:30. That's where we stand here. But the severe storm warning goes, again, also a little bit further out here. So let's see what they're doing here with this warning. This severe thunderstorm warning still says winds to 90, hail to baseballs. Hail to baseballs. Let me double check. Again, that won't be in the entire storm. Yes, hail to baseballs with a destructive tag, winds to 70. Now, I want to comfort you here in that the hail to baseballs is not in the entire storm, just in your hail core here. And the winds to 90 are not in the entire storm, just kind of down near the hook. Let me take lightning off again. There's just so much lightning with this storm. We can hear the lightning over us here in downtown Dallas from the storm. We can hear some thunder. Look at the St. Drain effect here. Look at that wrapping in. I mean, you just don't get a clearer looking hook echo and supercell than this, as that continues to move in towards the metro area of Dallas-Fort Worth. Let's zoom back out. Okay, this is not the only show going on now. We're starting to see some overspreading here. Thunderstorms in the wake of this developing in northern Denton and Collin counties. Here's 380, the 380 corridor, Denton over to McKinney. Thunderstorms developing north of that. Sanger, Salina, Prosper. You are not in this supercell, but you're getting thunderstorm proliferation in your area from weaker storms. And now the storms in Oklahoma. We'll see if these start to dive southeast. It looks like they are. We might see a little filling in here. This is where the atmosphere is still very unstable, hasn't been tapped into. So that's a lot to watch tonight. Cook, Fannin, Grayson, Lamar counties, eventually Collin and Denton. But again, one parent supercell is still the priority at this moment here. Chief Meteorologist Pete Delkus is also on air, and we're online and digital here this entire time. Let me take the lightning off. You almost can't operate. As a meteorologist, it's very difficult to operate with that lightning. You almost can't even see the radar. So there's your sink drain effect. Look at that. Look at that circulation. So again, even if this doesn't produce brief touchdowns, it is still dangerous with winds to 80 or 90. So here's an update from the Weather Service. We're issuing a warning downstream now into Tarrant County. It will be about an hour until it's downtown. I'm not sure if he's referring to Tarrant. I believe Fort Worth. So downtown Fort Worth, significant wind over 199 stretch around Ross Road. Metal rope and giant trees. So it looks like the circulation has produced some damage. Okay, new severe storm warning now is going to include Fort Worth. There it is. So here's what we were waiting to see if they would do, and they finally have here. A new severe thunderstorm warning now extends into Fort Worth and Tarrant County. Saginaw, Benbrook, Fort Worth, you're all in this. Let's get the data on this. This is going to go through 11 o'clock for Tarrant County, Wise counties, Parker County. This is for baseball hail and winds to 80. Baseball-sized hail and winds to 80 are in play as this approaches Fort Worth. Now, I'm waiting for the new data on here so I can see it. Here it is. Baseball hail, winds to 80. And again, this is moving in towards downtown Tarrant County. And let's look at the wind speeds now. Again, let's go back to velocity. And let's just see where we're at here. The winds, again, still very strong right in here. Leading edge might be decreasing just a bit, but very strong right in there where that couplet could be. Let's put a track on it. Let's see the speed of this. First of all, southeast at 15. This is a destructive storm for Tarrant County, a destructive storm. If you have family or friends in Fort Worth or this area, please share with them this live stream or the app. Get them, make sure that they are aware of this and they go to a safe area, the interior, lowest part of their home. This continues now, severe storm warning. Let's go back over to radar now. Severe storm warning, still one tornado warning till 10:30. That's for the hook in this storm right there. But I am still looking at this, and I am looking at that new severe storm warning. And again, that just continues as we see into Tarrant County now. And let's just take a look here at this. Again, I want to do this. Let's take a look at this in a bright way here. It looks like quite a bit of lightning still right there. And plenty of rotation right in here. There are a couple of spots in here of rotation, but overall, as they said, this swath could have winds to 80 or 90. So let's put a track on it.
We can go back to the velocity data right now, and I can show you what's taking place with the area. That's the area, big area of concern is this whole section, south of Springtown, off to the southwest of Azle, this whole area right here. At a minimum, straight line winds and quite possibly some rotation with this as well. I believe we're going to have another tornado warning that's going to be issued for this area. Let's zoom out just a little bit more, Jason, just for a little bit of perspective. So, and you could put a track on this. Let's track this off to the south, southeast. Unfortunately, it's moving very, very slowly. And I say, unfortunately, it's moving slowly. Many times you just want it to be in and out of your area, and then you're done with it. Unfortunately, these storms are just lingering right now. And as they linger, White Settlement, and they're only moving 20 to 25 miles an hour. White Settlement, it'll arrive there at 10:40. Westland at 10:42. So those are the areas of concern at this moment right now. But that tornado warning has now been extended into Tarrant County, and it's almost in part of the city of Fort Worth is now under that tornado warning. I believe the west, I don't know exactly where the city limits start in Fort Worth proper, but you know, we're certainly close enough to downtown Fort Worth that we are, and I mentioned this was going to move into the west side of Tarrant County, and it certainly is. So now downtown Fort Worth are under the tornado warning. Now that's until 11 o'clock. That is until 11 o'clock we have that tornado warning. Do we have our Fort Worth tower cam? Can we put that up? Maybe you guys could take that up at the control room, or Jason, if you have the ability to put that up for me, please. Fort Worth tower. Now that's looking toward, I think that's looking off to the east. That's looking toward the city of Dallas. I don't know if that's possible to spin that around. I don't, and actually now that I say that, I don't know that we have the ability to turn this camera around, but you get the idea. A lot of lightning right now. And the storm's not even in Fort Worth at this point, but a lot of lightning right now in Fort Worth. We can take that camera off. Let's go to our Weatherford camera. Show you the Weatherford camera. Again, the storm right now. And again, Jesse, it's taken a bit more of a turn here, hasn't it? It's shifted more to the east. There's our Weatherford camera. At one point it was barreling down on Weatherford, and then it took a bit more of a left-hand turn, if you will, moving toward the city of Fort Worth. No lightning here on this Weatherford camera. We can go back there. You know, you've heard us talk about this for a long time. Sometimes these storms can have a mind of their own. And you know, I mentioned this on the 6 o'clock news tonight, that this was going to be, the models have been absolutely horrible. None of the models forecast this, not one. And that's as a meteorologist, that's extremely frustrating. But having done this for so long, we know that in this situation, when we have as much instability as we've had, as we have as much wind shear as we have, we hit 88 degrees today for the high temperature. So we had a lot of instability. We had a lot of moisture in place. You could feel that it was warm and humid outside, wasn't it? We knew we had all the ingredients for thunderstorms. We also knew we had a cap, a warm layer of air aloft above North Texas that could prevent severe thunderstorms from developing. But I had mentioned on the 6 o'clock news and even the last 3 days that if there was just enough of a weakness in the cap, we could have something like this taking place. And that's exactly what's taking place tonight, is a severe thunderstorm that is still very intense, moving off to the west, moving off to the southeast, and now the city of, at least part of the city of Fort Worth is sounding sirens. And there is a tornado warning that goes until 11 o'clock tonight. Jesse, take over for just a moment. I'm going to take a drink of water.
Sure. Sure thing. All right, so let's go to, all right, there we are on the radar. So you see the tornado warning there, eastern Parker County into Tarrant County. That's until 11 p.m. Strong supercell. Now, here's some, we are not, when I say this, please understand, this does not mean, oh, we're good, nothing's wrong. There have been at least some signs that the rotation has started to come down just a little bit. Okay, so the main area of rotation is now still in eastern Parker County, and I'm going to put velocity on here. Jason Joseph, our weather producer, is going to put velocity on, and we're going to go toward Azle, and you can see the area of rotation between Springtown and Azle. We'll put a marker on that. This is 1010, and then we kind of go forward a little bit in time, and it has started to come apart just a little bit. Now, just the last 5-10 minutes, we did have confirmed tornado debris signature. Now, you notice how the colors, let's go back to 10 o'clock, actually. I want to show everybody the evolution of this. So we go back to 10 p.m. on radar. So you see at the top right, 10 p.m. You see the really bright colors there near Springtown. The bright greens, the blues, the pinks. Let's go a couple more ahead of time. So that's 10 p.m. We go to 10:10 p.m. There's 10:05. There's 10:10. You see how the colors still bright, much closer together, starting to come down a little bit. Now we go to the latest scan that we have, and we'll get one here in just about 30 seconds to a minute. The colors have come down a little bit. That means the velocities have dropped a touch. The rotation is not quite as tight as it once was, but we're still concerned about the damaging wind threat. And like we've seen for the last several hours here, with this particular supercell that dropped out of Clay County, east of Wichita Falls, and it has just made this monstrous dive to the southeast, it could cycle back up. Okay, so we're going to watch that closely, but at this time, if you are under that tornado warning, we'll go back to reflectivity to show the tornado warning. Eastern Parker County, and then into Tarrant County. This includes parts of Fort Worth. This includes White Settlement, Lake Worth, Saginaw, and Azle. You certainly need to be in your safe spot, your safe place in the home. But, Pete, I at least at this point am starting to see at least some signs of it coming down just a little bit there in eastern Parker County.
No, I agree. You're right on. I am getting reports right now, Jesse, of a lot of damage just west of Springtown. And that was my concern, because that was an area right in the bullseye. That's right on 199. That's trees, power poles, metal structures. A lot of damage right now just west of Springtown on 199. That is to the south of Richard Solomon. Richard's up in Runaway Bay. And I wonder if we can have Richard. So Jason, let's zoom in a little bit here. Let me show folks where that is. Right here, here's 199. So let's continue off to the west. So here's Springtown. So this looks like it's probably between Springtown and Agnes. Let's can we loop that through? Jason, just leave that on there. Put that velocity data back on. Loop it through. I forget how many hours it goes back, but maybe we can. Right there. Yep. Right after the president spoke, we came back out here, and this was the first area that we highlighted when I talked about the 90-mile-an-hour winds, and that's the concern. Now, I haven't seen any pictures. I'm just getting some reports right now, just some texts from people that are telling me there's a lot of damage right now, and they've used the word significant damage. I don't know exactly what that means, but I think we can all, with a reasonable mind, think that we've got some serious problem here west of Springtown, right on 199. And it could very well be a tornado that touched down. It could be just those 90-mile-an-hour winds that we had a confirmation of as well. But Doppler radar, let's go through that again, Jason, loop that through. That's where it is right now. That's a live picture. And you can see how it rolls in. That's at 9:30. 9:40, goes every 5 minutes, 9:45. Look at that, 9:45, 9:50, 9:55. So right now it's 10:22. And there we are. Now Jesse pointed this out a moment ago. You can see a weakening trend, but I mean, we're still looking at winds of 70 plus and still certainly some rotation there. Jesse, you agree with that? I mean, still looking at winds of over 70. I mean, 70-mile-an-hour winds are still going to create a lot of problems.
Yeah, I do think we still have the very strong winds that are starting to approach the Parker and Tarrant County line, just kind of near Azle, especially southwest of Azle. Rotation still notable, but has come down a little bit.
Yeah.
And as I say that, I just want to remind everybody that is just hopefully a little bit of something that you can feel good about. It doesn't mean you get out of your safe space.
No.
But it does mean that hopefully this continues to go on that trend. Pete.
Yeah, and in the Springtown area, the reports I'm receiving right now are Gilliland Road and 199, where there's substantial power line damage, structural damage. So Gilliland Road and 199, that's where we're getting reports right now of substantial damage, power line damage as well. Again, this is just in the greater Springtown area, if you will. But the tornado warning continues for Tarrant County until 11 o'clock. That does include part of the city of Fort Worth. You are under that tornado warning until 11 o'clock, certainly the west side of Fort Worth. And I know the emergency sirens have been sounded, the outdoor warning sirens as they're called. Those have been triggered in Tarrant County for good reason. They absolutely, this is exactly, I know there's been a lot of conversation in years past that people are turning on the sirens and residents get frustrated because it's for this reason or that reason. This is why we have the sirens, and this is absolutely why those sirens need to be sounded, is to give people a warning that extremely bad, potentially deadly weather is moving in your direction. Thunderstorm right now, I don't see the winds. Jesse, you can probably look at this just behind the scenes. I don't see the winds being 90 to 100 right now. But give me a number. Tell me what it looks like those winds are right now when you look at that behind the scenes, Jesse. What are the wind speeds that we're seeing right on the Parker-Tarrant County line right now?
Kind of querying the data back here, we're probably sitting in the 50 to 60 mile an hour range.
Okay.
That last scan that just came in showed a drop. So you see how intense the winds were up there. And as we go through these last few scans, as it got closer to the Metroplex, that wind has come down quite significantly.
Yeah.
So instead of 90 and 100, you're talking a significant improvement down to 50, maybe 60.
Yeah. And up in the Springtown area, up to the northern Parker County, roads right now, there are a number of roads that are impassable right along Highway 199. It runs across the northern part of the county. And once again, a thunderstorm that is moving toward Fort Worth. Where's our Fort Worth camera? Let's put that back up, Jason, if you can. Parker County, Tarrant County, under a tornado warning until 11 o'clock tonight. Again, this camera is a stationary camera. It is pointing toward the city of Dallas, but you could still see plenty of lightning out there right now in Tarrant. Not much in the way of winds, but a lot of lightning. A very, very intense thunderstorm. And you can always measure a thunderstorm's intensity by the number of lightning strikes. So Jason, let's do that. Let's go back to the radar. Let's turn off the reflectivity or whatever Doppler imagery that you have on there, and let's just put on the lightning strikes. And maybe we can show the lightning starting to decrease a little bit as well. And maybe take a little wider look, Jason, so we can look at what's going on up in Wise. And look at that up here. Look at all of the, and zoom in, Jason, just to this one area. A little tighter. Yep, there we go. That's good. Jesse, I mean, if you're just looking at lightning, and again, that's kind of a good old-fashioned way of looking at a thunderstorm's intensity. I mean, I see it coming down, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, 619 strikes in the last 15 minutes. So, I mean, at a minimum, this is just kind of a general rule of thumb. when you have a thunderstorm and you see less lightning strikes, you see a lower intensity thunderstorm. So at least we have that going for us. Again, I'm trying to find a little silver lining here in this cloud, this what was once a supercell thunderstorm.
Yeah, that's it's something there. You know, so we've seen the lightning come down a little bit. We've certainly seen the winds come down a little bit as well. I mean, you know, the lightning has been an interesting story here too. In fact, it still is. If we pause here, Jason, I would love to do a distance query on this, because earlier this evening, the storm was 75 miles away from downtown Dallas, and we had lightning strike near our station. 75 miles ahead of it. We're still seeing that right now coming out of the anvil of this supercell. Look at that. I mean, that is near the Ellis and Kaufman County line, and the heart of that thunderstorm is 50, 60 miles away.
Hey, okay, here's Possum Kingdom Lake, Jason. Do this. I've told this story on TV over the years. So go from Possum Kingdom to Arlington. What's the distance from there? Possum Kingdom, go from PK. You can just leave it on this map right here. Possum Kingdom to Arlington. Okay, so there's 80. Now, many of you will remember this because you were at maybe you were at the Rangers game in Arlington that night. Skies were clear, crystal clear, not a cloud in the sky in Arlington. Okay, there was a thunderstorm. We had some anvil lightning. There was a thunderstorm out at Possum Kingdom Lake, and they stopped the Rangers game for this. There was a strike of lightning that hit the stadium, the old ballpark. It either hit the stadium or it was very near it, but there was this loud, almost sounded like an explosion, but it was a lightning strike. And it hit right there at the ballpark in Arlington. That was 80 miles away. So this is not unusual at all. You've heard of, you know, it was out of the blue, lightning out of the blue. This is where it comes from. As Jesse just mentioned, we saw that in Wise County earlier. We were having lightning strikes in Dallas. It was 80 miles away, 50, 60, 70, 80 miles away. We have one right now that's 73, 74 miles away. So again, and remember, 50% of people that are struck by lightning are struck by a thunderstorm that is incoming. The other half, it's from a departing thunderstorm. So if you can see the lightning, if you can hear the thunder, you are at risk of being struck. So when you see this lightning that's that far away, this is a great indicator of how deadly and certainly how dangerous lightning can be. So don't take this too lightly. We have lightning strikes that start fires in house. It's like, well, it didn't even rain at my house, and I have a lightning strike that hit it. Now I had a fire. So we see this every year here in Texas and across the United States. Let's go back to this thunderstorm in Tarrant County. Parker County is under a tornado warning. Parker County, Tarrant County under a tornado warning until 11 o'clock tonight. The thunderstorm itself with the most intense characteristics right now is right on the Parker-Tarrant County line. Jason, I know we have a storm strength mode that we show on our Doppler radar here. That's perfect. Jesse, my gosh, look at that. Look at the strength of that right there. And look how it is weakening. So here's the strongest. You get us almost up to like a pinkish white color. Look at what's happening up here. Jason, zoom out just a little bit for me, please. Look at that. I mean, that's enormous. Jesse, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we're seeing that not only on that tool, but the velocity, the reflectivity, the lightning's coming down a little bit. So thank goodness. It's good to see that it is coming down quite a bit. This has been I will tell you, this has been an incredibly powerful supercell. The lifespan of this supercell has been remarkable. We watched it form near Wichita Falls. We watched it move into Clay County, which is between Wichita Falls and Bowie. We watched it drop into Jack. We watched it move into parts of Here we go. Yeah, there you go. We'll go back. Look at this. 4 hours ago. Yep. And just watch the progression of this supercell move through Clay County, Jack County. It split off in Bowie. Okay, then it started becoming an even more intense thunderstorm there in Wise. We saw the significant damage there in Runaway Bay, which is just west of Lake Bridgeport. We saw it produce 90-mile-an-hour winds in northeastern Parker County, and it's still a robust thunderstorm. It has come down, and now it's in Tarrant County. But my gosh, I mean, this storm has been doing some serious work for the last 4 to 5 hours. And this is one deal. You know,
and what's interesting, Jason, widen out just a little bit here. is this storm is in. It's on the west side of Tarrant County. So let me real fast zoom into this area here. Then we're going to go back out to that wide area, that wide shot, Jason. Zoom into that west side of Tarrant County, because I want folks to know if you live around Lake Worth, Lakeside, White Settlement, Westland, this is moving toward you. That is moving toward you in Westland. Let's zoom in here a little bit more, just on this northwest side of 820. There we are. There's Silver Creek Road, North Las Vegas Road. This is all west of Lake Worth. Watercress, Lake up a little farther to the north, Jason. Here's Silver Creek again, Jacksboro Highway, of course. Here's Lakeside. So right around Lakeside and points to the south. Now, go back out and show that wide view, Jason, that you showed just a moment ago. Jesse, I'll like to hear your analysis on this. But I've talked about the cap that was in place earlier today, the cap that was in place, that warm layer of air aloft that shuts down severe thunderstorm development. Let's go back up around Wichita Falls, Jason, and go back to around 6 or 6:30 tonight. So this is Clay County. This is Archer County, Wichita County, here where Wichita Falls is. We had 4 thunderstorms, okay, try to fire up tonight. One was down here in Olney, down in Young County, so just outside of Olney. 3 of the 4 of them did not survive. They started to tower up, and then they just died. We had this 4th one that not only continued to tower up, found a weakness in the cap, it found that weakness, it towered up, turned severe. Jesse, I don't know what the tops were on this, but they most likely had to be 50,000+ feet. And then let's go take it in time as it moved to the south, as Jesse just described a couple of moments ago. It moved through right through Clay County. See how it weakened, strengthened again? As it moved through Jack County, Wise County. Then it survived the trip down to the south, Parker County, and now to the west side of Tarrant County. The sirens are going again just west of downtown Fort Worth, the storm sirens, and they should be. Letting everyone know, I know not everyone's watching TV tonight, but certainly letting everyone know that we have a severe weather situation taking place here on the west side of downtown Fort Worth right now, between Saginaw, just north of White Settlement, just to the west of downtown. See the hail core as well. Can we turn on the vertically integrated liquid profile here? Maybe show some of the, as we look at that VIL data, that will show some of the hails. Oh my gosh. Did you guys see that?
Yes, that was a little wild.
Wow.
Every single monitor was just flashing with lightning. It was
Yeah.
almost, yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, I have I have 16 cameras over here off to my right. It's all of our tower cameras. We can only fit 16 on here, but I'm looking, and every one of them.
Trying to be disciplined.
Every one of them.
And then it's a team effort. My teammates do a great job.
What's happening on TV or what's not, but are we back on TV here, or maybe we haven't left? I'm here in the NBA, I think. Not sure what's happening here, but we're just going to stay here. Okay, Tiffany, are we okay right now? Okay. Okay, sounds good. So, but all of our cameras, as Teresa mentioned just a moment ago, we had some crazy lightning strikes. I saw some cloud-to-ground strikes that just, I mean, lit up. It was on our DBU camera, our Fair Park camera, a couple of our Dallas cameras. So a lot of lightning right now is taking place. So there's a tornado warning that has been canceled for East Central Parker and northwestern Tarrant County. So did they cancel the, guys, did they cancel the warning? They canceled the tornado warning for Tarrant County. Well, that's awesome. But we still have a severe thunderstorm warning. Okay? So let's go to Richard Solomon. Richard is in Wise County. Richard, I'm assuming you're somewhere around Runaway Bay. Give me an update. Let's see what you have on your camera there, please.
Well, yeah, Pete, we're just a few yards away, actually, from where there were reports of a touchdown here near Runaway Bay. Now, we can't see what actually happened. Emergency crews with the county have since asked us to move back, but we were able to see for just a brief moment, and the damage was extensive. Going down this street, this is Cumberland Trail, there was debris spread across the entire field. You saw pieces of houses, down power lines. Again, there were reports of a touchdown here. Nothing confirmed yet that this was a tornado. But crews tell me they are actively searching 4 people. I've been told that there were reports of injuries, 4 reports of injuries. They've since closed this entire area down. Again, when we first got here to the scene, we were first on scene news-wise, and we're able to talk with some of the commanders out here, just figure out what they're doing, what they need. One of the things that they told me to just let people know about is to avoid this area. They are actively working to find people. We spoke with a gentleman who lives down this street. Thankfully, he was not there when the storm really hit this area. He said he saw, our alerts and got out of this way. But again, they are actively searching for people here. We'll stay here all evening long and bring you whatever latest information that we can get. But yeah, Pete, the damage is very bad out here so far. So you hope and you pray that everyone is accounted for at the end of the night.
Okay, that's our Richard Solomon reporting for us live from Runaway Bay. We also want to bring you up to date on, we can see this video that we have received from one of our viewers, Scott Bennett. You see his name there. This is video he shot of a fire in Springtown, just outside of Springtown on 199. You can see a lot of lightning there, but you can see a pretty large fire there in the middle. We've seen a lot of reports from people saying they heard an explosion, and then that you can see the result here. This, again, in the Springtown area off of 199. And I want to see if I can bring in senior meteorologist Jesse Hawila now, because Jesse, you and I were talking about this. You were saying that this fits with what you were hearing, what you were seeing, what you were watching on the radar. Again, I know you were busy. I don't know if you heard everything I was saying, but this is the video from Springtown on 199. And you can see that fire right there.
Yeah, that's right on 199, just west of Springtown, is the area that we saw the reports of damage of power poles down, a metal roof wrapped around a building as well, wrapped around a power pole as well. So that does fit, and we did have really intense winds in that area. We had confirmed debris on radar in that area, right there on 199, and that is, again, is that supercell there that has been moving into Tarrant County. So we'll certainly be monitoring what happened there, but that does line up perfectly with where we saw all of that damage, especially just west of where Springtown is.
You know, I feel like you and I are well versed in this. On the weekends, it's hard sometimes for us to get exact information from emergency management offices because, of course, it's a weekend, and of course they're short-staffed, and when something like this happens, they go straight out there, and so they're not sitting around waiting for our phone calls. So we don't have direct information from any firefighters or police officers or emergency management crews or anything like that about exactly what we're looking at. We simply know that something's on fire just outside of Springtown. And of course, we're waiting on confirmation of all of that. But as Richard was showing us, we have damage in the Runaway Bay area. We know there's damage there in the Springtown area as well. So, Pete.
You know, Teresa, that could be a house fire.
It could be.
I mean, you know, we see that all the time. I mentioned that earlier, you know, these lightning strikes. I mean, there's been thousands of lightning strikes tonight. That could easily be a house fire. I mean, or I also wonder what else could be on fire out there that's burning that brightly.
Well, we did hear some people have said there was an explosion associated with this, so it's hard to know exactly
Gas,
what is
oil?
potentially.
I mean, I have no idea. I just think of what that could be. You know, we also had reports of power flashes. I mean, is this a substation that's burning?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it could be any number of things. I hope that whatever it is, you know, there's no humans involved and no one's hurt or anything like that. So we, of course, hope for the best. The good news is the tornado warning for Tarrant County has been canceled. So the storm it's still a severe thunderstorm. So we're still looking at winds of, you know, 60 miles per hour, maybe some quarter-size hail. But the tornado warning has been canceled. And Jason, let's show everybody the Metroplex radar. This is the only thunderstorm we have right now. Oh, we have a little bit of rain up across parts of Denton County. We still have a little bit of rain in Wise County. We only have one. And Jason, show us North Texas, please. There it is. That's it. Now we have a thunderstorm up here around north of the river up in Paris. That's a severe thunderstorm. It's not a tornadic one. But this one, the northern part of Lamar County, you have a severe thunderstorm warning, but that's it across North Texas. And this one is weakening. And I mentioned tonight on the 6 o'clock news how overnight would be fine. Overnight's going to be calm. We're not there yet. It's still 10:41. There's still some of the evening left. I know it's late evening right now, but overnight is going to be calm. And there we go. We have one thunderstorm right here, right now in the Metroplex, and it is a pretty quickly weakening thunderstorm, and that is absolutely good news. That thunderstorm warning for Parker County and Tarrant County, it goes until 11 o'clock. And zoom in down there, Jason, please. I mean, Parker County, the far, far east side of Parker County, you were under that warning, some gusty winds, but I mean, for the most part, for all intents and purposes, it's really in Tarrant County right now, really the Tarrant-Parker County line, and then east of there. And I know the sirens are going off, have been triggered several times on the west side of the city of Fort Worth. I'm glad they have been triggered because this is the time you have these sirens. This is what the sirens were designed to do, is to alert people when you have severe weather, winds of 70 miles an hour, golf ball size hail, or a tornado. And we have certainly, unfortunately, seen damage tonight. I have lots of reports right now that we do have more widespread damage reports that are coming in of damaged homes in the 3000 block of West 199, also Goshen Road at Elliott Lane. Fire crews, EMS crews have had lots of difficulty accessing trees. This is in the Springtown area. Lots of difficulty accessing these roads due to the roads that are blocked with trees that are down, power lines that are down. So that's what's taking place. That's in the northern part of Parker County. And when we were on the air, I don't even know what time it is. It's 10:43 now, so hour and a half ago. That's when all of that started to take place. So that's what's happening right now. And Jesse, the intensity has really, really come down. Can we go back to the velocity just for a second, Jason? Yeah, I mean, we're still showing some winds. Could those winds be 60? I mean, maybe. Jesse, analyze that just off camera with the tool that you have just off camera. And I know, unfortunately, we can't show it on TV, but just tell me what those winds are right now that you're seeing. Are they below 50? Are they below 40? I mean, I would think they're below 60 just by looking at it.
Yeah, right now, kind of doing our query tool back here, 40 to 50, somewhere in that range. I would say most of it leans in the 40. There are some little pops if you look just to the west of White Settlement, seeing maybe some 50 mile an hour
right in this area here?
Wind reports. Kind of right under that banner. In fact, if we pull that banner off, we can actually zoom in a little bit tighter there.
Maybe in this
right there. Yeah, there we go. Right near White Settlement. Some of that.
Is that what you queried, Jason?
Yeah, some of that's really close, 40 to 50.
47.
There it is, right there.
Okay.
And that's the new scan. So I got a newer scan back here sooner. So if we do that again, we'll probably pick up a 50 to 55.
Okay.
In that area.
Now, technically, that's not severe. Severe is 58 or stronger, but it's close enough for a warning. It's close enough to severe. I mean, you get winds of around 50 miles an hour, you're going to have some problems. So we're right there in that severe. I'm glad that thunderstorm warning is still there. And that thunderstorm warning, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, that thunderstorm warning is until 11 o'clock, right? Yeah. Okay. And it looks like, I mean, maybe even a little bit, I mean, this kind of ticked up in the last 5 minutes or so. It weakened a little bit, and then it's kind of ticked up maybe a notch. Maybe Jesse, it's gone up 5, maybe 10 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of rotation aloft with this.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yes, and we've seen this cell do this all night. It'll cycle up, cycle down, so it goes into these, weaker phases, stronger. This one is a little less organized than it has been previously, so I do hold hope for that. The other side of this too, the hail, if we go back to reflectivity, we're starting to see the reflectivity values go up. So if you look, you'll start to see more purples and pinks now. You see that core of that just right near White Settlement, just north of I-20. That right there, if we have our hail size tool, this severe thunderstorm warning is for potential up to tennis ball size hail. Right now, it looks like we could probably be seeing a good amount of $0.50 to maybe golf ball size hail. Most of it's probably sitting in the quarter range right there. So 1.5, that's ping pong, just to the west of White Settlement. I'm starting to see that tick up a little bit. So that area there in western Tarrant County, between 199 down to 20, that little section there is certainly getting some hail, and that is moving a little bit closer to Fort Worth proper. So that's something we'll be watching there.
Yeah.
So the hail size going up just a touch, winds going up just a touch as well. This supercell has been so problematic this entire time. This is the same storm that brought damage to Runaway Bay, where our crews are now. It's the same storm that brought damage to the Springtown area right along 199, and we have crews investigating that area as well. Do we have Richard right now?
Yeah,
Tiffany, I'm on IFB. I don't know if Richard is standing by here for damage reports. Yeah, let's go. Hey, Richard, sorry about that, man. So Richard, you're still in Runaway Bay. We had reports of a touchdown of a tornado there, and of course, we'll get investigation with the National Weather Service to confirm all of that. It looks pretty likely based on radar signatures. You've seen lots of debris there. Any new updates there in Runaway Bay?
Yeah, Jesse, we're still working to learn information from crews right now. We know there are 6 agencies behind us working to search and actively find people. Now, they have since asked us to move back towards the highway. It's about a couple hundred yards back to where we saw that damage. We were one of the first news crews here on scene, and I can tell you, I mean, it just looked like an absolute war zone. There was debris tossed all across the field, from paneling of homes, tossed on power lines, downed power lines. Excuse me while this car drives by. Forgive me, but you see this video, this is what we were able to see. And right now I do see an ambulance pulling out. I know that there were, and I did get this information confirmed by officials, there were 4 reports of injuries. Again, they're still actively looking for people. They have this entire area closed off right now. I did speak with a gentleman who came up here. He lives down in that area. He told me, you know, when he heard things starting to pick up, he got out of the way. Thankfully, he is okay. But again, crews are not letting anyone go back there right now. But you know, we're staying out here. We're working to hear from officials just to see if they have any more new information they can share with us. Any updates on people who may be missing, or any updates on, you know, injuries here right now. But we'll stay out here and work this scene and give you a live update soon.
Richard, thank you so much. So Chief Meteorologist Pete Elkus and I, Jason Joseph, Colin Myers, we're all here in the Weather Center watching. And Pete, supercell there now in Tarrant County with some wind and hail.
Yeah, we do. We have the supercell thunderstorm that's moving through Tarrant County right now. Johnson, Parker, Tarrant. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 11:45. So now it's just the far northern part of Johnson County. Parker, it's barely raining at Parker, so I would take Parker out of this because Parker is no longer in an area. You don't have any thunderstorms in Parker County, but I certainly see Tarrant County, and it will eventually make it here into northern Johnson County. That is in effect, and that goes until 11:45. So as Jesse mentioned, you know, we could be seeing some $0.25 to $0.50 size hail with this, and certainly some winds of around 60 miles an hour. But this is the only thunderstorm right now in North Texas. We have another one that's crossed the Red River up around Paris and